going on, guys? We're back with another video, and today I'll be discussing the top 5 best talismans in Elden Ring. First, sorry if I spoiled any sort of DLC content for you guys right there, but we're gonna go back to Limgrave so I can show off these talismans and where to get them. So, let's start off with a talisman that's always found its way into my talisman slots. And this one is in the DLC, this one is not. And it's the green turtle talisman. No matter what build I was running, if it was strength, dex, faith, or whatever, the stamina recovery speed has always been a really big aspect of Elden Ring for me. Because, like, even to do some of the most simple stuff, like casting enchantments, or not enchantments, what am I saying? Casting incantations uses stamina. Like, it takes stamina to put Blood Flame Blade on my thing. Well, not Blood Flame Blade, but I'm pretty sure it takes... That's embarrassing. I'm pretty sure it takes stamina for a lot of incantations. It takes incantations, sprint speed, roll speed, especially if you're running a strength build and you're like big and heavy and you have like a shield and a really big sword. Then that recovery speed to roll out of attacks and stuff like that really helps. And if you bought the DLC, you can get a enhanced version, which is the two-headed turtle talisman that increases your stamina even more. All right, to get the base game talisman, this one, just the green turtle talisman, you want to come up here in Livinggrave to the Summon Water Village, and you'll need a stone sword key, and there will be a dungeon in the back right area of the Summon Water Village, surrounded by turtles, and you're going to want to put the stone sword key in there, go down in the dungeon, and then grab the talisman out of the chest. And like a reference grace point, there should be one right about there, and the Saints Bridge one, which is right about there. And the Iron Fist Alexander questline also starts here. So you guys can look up a guide for that, but I won't discuss it in this video. Moving on to another pretty early game talisman, the Bull Goats Talisman. The Bull Goats Talisman it's pretty simple, it just raises poise. And as you can see in the bottom right, my poise is 40 right now. Now it's 53. That's a 13 poise upgrade, which is pretty crucial if you're going to be running it. Like, it allows you to pick fashion over like functionality, you know what I'm saying? Because this set I have on right now, it looks pretty nice, but its poise without the Bull Goats Talisman isn't that great. So especially if you're running a like more fashion build just for looks, then you're gonna want to get this Bull Goats Talisman. The Bull Goats Talisman is found in Caelid, over here by this minor Erd tree. Below the minor Erd tree, there is going to be an entrance with a bear outside of it. Make your way through the cave, and you'll find at the end of the dungeon, or at the end of the cave, you'll find the Bull Goats Talisman. I love that talisman. It's just so useful in so many ways. And now we're going to get to one of the most talked about talismans in the game, the Golden Scarab. This is a rune farming talisman. You use this talisman grants runes obtained by defeating enemies. This just means that you'll get more runes upon defeating enemies, and that also like stacks. It stacks with the Golden Pickle Foulfoot and the Golden Tender Horn, Gold Horn Tender. My bad. And this works great, especially if you have Mohg's Palace unlocked, and you've beaten the game already, and you got the Sacred Relic Sword, and you do the Albinaurix farm in Mohg's Palace. I'm pretty sure I did a video on that. But anyway, this one is also found in Caelid, in a abandoned cave in this ravine. You have to fight 2 Scarlet Rot Knights at the end of this dungeon. to obtain this wonderful talisman. Moving on. We have the Shabriri's Woe talisman. This talisman, it's not really so useful for you, but if you're one to run a mimic tier like I do, I will usually, when I go into a boss room after I've buffed up, I'll summon my mimic tier, and then I'll immediately go and change my talisman for something different, because that means my mimic tier has been summoned with this talisman on, so he will constantly attract the boss's attention. He'll constantly attract the boss's attention, so it gets some of the heat off of you, so you can sneak some hits in, do some damage, and win the boss fight, ultimately. Moving on to the next talisman. I'm gonna have to go with the Axe Talisman. The Axe Talisman has to be almost one of the best talismans in the game, I would say. Because, like, literally every weapon in the game has a charge attack like that. That's just the Astral War, I'm sorry. But, like, a charge attack like that would be increased by using that talisman. Or the damage output would be increased if using that talisman. And that's basically all it does, especially if you're running a Guts Greatsword build like this, and you have to do one of these, especially two-handed. That's going to put out, like, if it's maxed out, like, plus 25, and you do a two-handed charged up hit with this talisman on, it's probably going to output, like, somewhere up near 2,700 damage, which is absolute beautiful damage from one hit. It's a beautiful output of damage. Moving on to, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this talisman, but the Radagon Source Seal is a pretty optimal choice early game. This one is found in Fort Faroth, where you also find the half of the Dectus Medallion to access the Royal Capital and Altus Plateau. But you find this talisman in there as well, and it greatly raises attributes, but also increases damage taken, as you guys can see. Like, without this on, I only have 70 Vigor, 40 Mind, 50 Endurance, 50 Strength, 80 Dex, 23 Int, 50 Faith, and 30 Arcane. With it on, I have 85 Dexterity, 55 Strength, 55 Endurance, 40 Mind, and 75 Vigor. So it basically adds 5 to Endurance, Strength, Dex, and Vigor, which is a pretty good if you already have, like, some sort of tanky armor set. Like, if you guys go check out my armor set video, you guys will know that you can provide some pretty tanky armor sets early game. And if you have a tanky armor set that can endure that damage that it increases taken, then this is a pretty optimal choice for a talisman. But I personally don't use it because it raises damage taken, and since I have a lot of vigor, it will ultimately lead to me having to use more flasks to get to max HP, which is pretty annoying, if you ask me. And, alright, enough talking. Let's get to the next talisman. The Great Jar's Arsenal Talisman. This talisman is really good. Like, I love this talisman with all my heart. Like, if I didn't have it, I probably wouldn't be able to use half the shit I use in Elden Ring. But this vastly raises your maximum equip load. As you guys can see, without it on, I have my max equip load is 105. With it on, my max equip load is 125, which allows me to wear heavier armor sets and use heavier weapons without rolling like a fat bitch. You know what I'm saying? So this, you guys acquire it by going through Nokron the Eternal Nokron the Eternal City, and you take this route after you defeated the Mimic tier. You take this route, you go down, you jump on this thing, and you just ride all the way up to this. This well will take you up, and it'll take you up to this right here, the Deep Safra well. You want to follow this out up to this Coliseum. There's going to be some magic archers on the way, but just ignore them. When you come up here, you'll see this big, humongous jar, and talk to him, and then there'll be 3 summoning signs on the ground. And when you defeat all 3 duelists, you'll get this wonderful talisman. Moving on to the next talisman, the Shard of Alexander. The Shard of Alexander is a pretty popular talisman that greatly boosts the attack power of skills, which is your Ashes of War. But you get this talisman. Alright, my bad. I didn't talk about it. But this is really useful if you're running if you're running some sort of like heavy Ash of War build, like you won't be hitting that R2 a lot. You'll just be smacking that you'll just be smacking L2. Like Greatsword not Greatsword. Malekith's Black Blade, for example. If you're using his sword, you won't usually be doing these, right? You're gonna be doing this OP ass Ash of War. Like you're gonna be doing this most of the time. So if you're gonna be using so much of your Ash of War, you're gonna want the Shard of Alexander. This one is acquired by going through all of Alexander's questline, and then meeting him over here before you fight the Fire Giant, summoning him, beating the Fire Giant, and then when you come over here, you have to defeat the Godskin duo. Come out the north entrance or north exit. Follow this way up. There should be some sort of thing. What's it called? A lift. You want to take the lift up. You'll find Alexander. I'm not going to give the best guide of it right now, so don't take my word for it. But look up a guide on how to find him in the Crumbling Farm of Azula after you defeated the Fire Giant with him. So you're going to want, his questline starts in Limgrave. He's going to be stuck in the ground. You're going to smack him out of the hole in the ground, and you'll be fine. Then you're gonna meet him before you fight Radahn, and then after you fight Radahn, you'll find him over here in Mount Gelmir, in this lava right next to a magma worm. So you can either defeat the magma worm. You have to defeat the magma worm actually, which is pretty annoying. But defeat the magma worm, talk to Alexander, and then meet him in the Fire Giant fight. Summon him, beat the Fire Giant. And then come over here, beat the Godskin duo, and then look up a guide on how to find him, because I can't really discuss it in this video, because I don't really know, and I can't go over there right now, because I need to show you guys talismans. Alright, moving on. We got the, I don't know how to pronounce this one, so I'm just going to call it the Amber Medallion +1. This one I have a lot of mixed feelings about. This greatly raises maximum stamina. I like it personally, but I don't use it anymore because I just realized that I don't need so much stamina if I can just get it back fast. So that's why I swapped this one out for the turtle talismans. Either one of these work. But this one is, if you want to use it, this one is acquired over here at the outer wall battleground side of Grace. You're gonna find a mimic on the road that turns into Margit, and you're gonna want to fight Margit, defeat Margit again, and then get his talisman, which is the Amber Medallion +1. Alright, moving on. For the next talisman, I'm going to go with the Ritual Shield Talisman. This talisman raises your defense to all sorts of attacks when your HP is when you have maximum HP. This talisman is pretty mediocre because it's like a circumstantial, like it works only under circumstances. So like if you're not at max HP, it's literally just a useless slot of talisman. Like it's just a filled up talisman slot for no reason because it's not helping you. But if you do want to use this and it some sort of way it complies with your build, it is found over here in the uh it can be found before you beat Malekith and after you beat Malekith. But if you already beat Malekith, you're going to want to come spawn in at... I'll actually show you guys how to get this one. Because I'm pretty sure I actually have... Jeez, I need to talk. I actually haven't got it yet on this playthrough. So I can just show you guys how to get it. So you're going to spawn in... If this is only under the circumstances that you beat the game already. Or that you beat Malekith already. So you're going to want to spawn in at the Lendale capital of Ash, side of Grace, and you're going to want to follow this place almost directly north until you run into this dragon's wing. Then you're going to want to climb up this dragon's wing, as I do right now. And don't worry about enemies, there's not any sort of enemies until you get to the last 3 bosses of the game. Gideon, Godfrey, and Radagon and the Elden Beast. That's 4, but Radagon and the Elden Beast are 1 boss, so it doesn't really count. You're going to see this gargoyle down there. You do not want to fight him. I've never fought him in any one of my playthroughs. So just, you really don't have to fucking fight him. He's just a useless ass boss. Normally, you would jump off right here and go up those stairs to the Gideon fight and the rest of the bosses. But I just want to keep pushing it forward. You'll see these guys on this pot, and then there's a sample seed right there. You can come up. You just want to keep going, hang right, and then go up these steps. You're gonna get to the front doors of this Coliseum. When you get to the front doors of this Coliseum, it's gonna be on a body, just laying on the ground on a body right there. And boom, that's the Ritual Shield Talisman, and how to get it. Okay, moving on. We have the Godskin Swaddling Cloth Talisman. I forgot how to get this one, but I'm going to mention it anyways, because if you're running like a successive attack build, you're going to want this talisman because it restores HP. I don't really know what a successive attack build is, but if you're running it, you're going to want this talisman, so just look up a guide on how to get it, because I personally forgot how to get it. Moving on. We got the Old Lord's Talisman. This extends spells for, like, buffs for, like, it extends spell effect variation. That means it, like, lengthens the time that your spells last or your buffs last. This includes your Wondrous Physic, Golden Vow, and any other, like, buff you could think of, like Black Flames Protection, Golden Vow, your Physic. All of those are all enhanced by this talisman. It's honestly a really good talisman in my opinion, but I don't use it myself because I don't really need the extra spell duration. I did during the Mesmer fight, but since I already beat Mesmer, that's in the DLC. I'm sorry, I'm kind of spoiling shit right now, but when I beat him, then I just kind of took it off because I didn't really need it, this sort of talisman. Anyway, moving on. We have the Godfrey's Icon talisman. You get this by, I'm pretty sure, guys, please look up a guide for all of these talismans, because if I don't know where they're at, please don't take my word for anything I say afterwards. But this enhances charged spells and skills. This can be stacked with the Shard of Alexander for a lot of skill damage, like a lot of Ash of War, like a lot of L2 damage, and like especially for something like the Bloodhound's Fang, This would do a lot of damage paired up with these two talismans, but I don't use it because I just replace that with this talisman, which is one of the best talismans in the game, in my opinion. This enormously boosts physical damage negation. It's basically just like another set of armor in a talisman. And this is found in the Haggle tree. Somewhere in the Haggle tree, guys. I'm so sorry, I don't know where they're at. Where I can't give you guys a exact location. But it is in the Haggle tree. You will need both sides of the Haggle tree medallion. You'll have to You'll have to defeat what's his name? You'll have to defeat Commander Nile in the Castle Soul, and you'll have to get the other side of the medallion over here in the lakes. You'll have to come to the village of Albinurix, talk to old Albus, and get the talisman, the side of the medallion, sorry. Then you want to come to the Grand Lifter Road, hoist the secret medallion, come out over here in the concentrated snowfields, concentrated snowfields, and then you want to come over here to this town, do the puzzle in the Evergoal, and get access to the Haggle tree. And this is also where Melania is, one of the most annoying fucking bosses in the whole entire game. But yeah, so you will need access to the Haggle tree if you want to obtain this talisman. Please, guys, I'm very sorry that I don't know the places for these talismans, but please just look up other guides and they will tell you where they're at. I would show you guys, this one is also really good, but I can't show you guys this unless you guys have the DLC, and actually, most people probably have the DLC, so I'll display it anyway. The Pearl Drake Talisman +3 boosts every single damage, like every single types of damage, like fire, magic, lightning, and whatever else is left, except physical damage. Like everything except physical damage. Which is kind of insane, because you can stack them. Like, if you have an extra slot, you can just stack them and have crazy fucking damage negation. But I don't do that. I just use one of them. I either just choose physical damage or don't, depending on the enemies I'm fighting. This talisman is found in the DLC, in the storehouse. Please just look up a guide. I will not be displaying it in this video. Look up a guide, but you'll need access. You don't have to defeat Mesmer. Just look up a guide on how to do it and where to find the levers in the puzzle and stuff. But just look up how to do it, get this wonderful talisman, and yeah, that's about it. We have the Erdtree's Favor +1. I'm mentioning this talisman because it's just a way more early game. It's a more early game Great Jar's Arsenal. But there's a +2 version of this. Look up a guide on how to get the +2. I'm pretty sure I remember. You're gonna want... Yeah, it's like, come to the Forbidden Lands. Yeah, I'm lost. But please just guys, look up a guide on how to get the Erdtree's Favor +2. It will greatly... This one is just a +1, but the +2 will greatly raise your maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. This can be stacked with the Great Jar's Arsenal, but that's just a little overkill in my opinion. So, yeah. If you're early game, or more early game, go try and get the +2, but if you're way earlier game than that, get the Erdtree Favor +1, because it's a very good talisman. It's just it's a little better than the Great Jar's Arsenal because it increases HP and stamina. But I personally don't use it because I wear more tankier armor sets. I'm just wearing this armor set because I thought it looked cool, and I'm not really doing anything important at the moment. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the Axe Talisman. I think I already talked about it, but I didn't show you guys where to get it. It is over here in the Mistwood Ruins in Limgrave. You want to come over here to the Mistwood outskirts side of Grace. Follow it inland, and you'll find the ruins. There's a sleeping bear. It's kind of hard to miss. It's also next to the Safra River well, if you have that. Or you could take the Third Church America down, all the way down, and you'll eventually run into the ruins. You're going to come in here, going down in the dungeon, and then just open the chest and find this beast of an early game talisman. Anyway, moving on. We got the Great Shield Talisman. This boosts guarding ability. This means if you're using a shield, it's like it lowers the amount of stamina taken by an enemy. I'll give you guys an example of this real fast. So I'm gonna head to Limgrave. I'm gonna try and give you guys like a pretty good example of this. It will be on some pretty lower tier enemies. It would be a bigger difference if they were bigger enemies. But as you guys can see, I'm gonna hold my shield up. Hold on, let me do it without the talisman first. This is without the talisman. If you guys look up there to the left, up on the left, outlet my stamina. Okay. At the stamina, that's how much it's taking without. Actually, hold on, let me go over those demi-humans just so they could do just a tiny bit more damage. Okay, he's gonna scream. Alright, look at this, guys. Look at the top left. Okay, I don't understand why it's not blocking. Okay, this is just... Alright, here we go. If you guys see how much damage it's taking without the talisman. Now this is with the talisman on. I need one of these fucks to hit me. Look how much less damage it's doing to my stamina with the talisman on, which is what makes this talisman really good. I am just gonna kill these guys real fast, but that's what makes this talisman very good. And this one is found. Sorry guys, I can't open the map right now. I personally don't use a shield because I just think that it's a little overkill. I don't really like using shields because they can get you caught in some sticky situations where you're just stuck behind your shield getting fucking comboed by a boss or a really tough enemy. And you just can't move because if you move, you'll get hit. But oh shit. But yeah, but this talisman is found in Altos Plateau. It's one of the first camps you see when you enter the biome. You'll come up the Grand Lift Adectus, ride down the road to the Altus Highway Junction side of Grace. You're going to come down here. There's going to be a camp over here with two big like caravans. And the first one has the Troll's Greatsword weapon. I've never used it. But what does it do? Well, I'm not a fan of that. But it has that greatsword, and in the caravan farthest from the greatsword has this talisman inside. And we have the Stargazer's Heirloom. This one is obtained by going through Ronnie's questline. You're going to have to have progressed up through the lakes. Come up, you have to complete Carria Manor. Come up behind Carria Manor to the Three Sisters. And you'll see Ronnie's Rise and Rena's Rise, which are the only ones that matter. Solovis's Rise is a whole different quest line. I've never done it before because I don't really know what it does. But you're going to come up to Ronnie's quest line, initiate her... Come up to Ronnie's Rise, initiate her quest line. And I'm pretty sure it's in the Divine Tower. It's in the Divine Tower of Liurnia. And it's pretty straightforward. It raises intelligence by 5 points. I don't use it because I'm not an intelligence build. But for you guys' intelligence builds early game, this could be pretty useful to get your intelligence up quickly. so you guys can use more higher grade spells. We got the Curved Sword Talisman. Now this talisman enhances guard counters. Again, another talisman for people that use shields. And if you use shields, using this talisman, it increases the damage that you do after getting hit. This is, guys, just with the talisman on. I'm gonna have one of these guys hit me real fast. Wait, why can't I counter? What the fuck? Okay, I don't really know what's going on. Hold on. I think I need a different fucking shield. Hold on. This is pretty fucking awkward, but let me give you guys an example. Again, you guys can see that this talisman is on. Okay, I don't know why they're not hitting me. Hit me. Okay, I don't even... I don't understand. Do I need a different sword? Oh, I think I might need a different sword. There we go. This should work. Wait, but that wouldn't be a good example. Am I tripping? There we go. Oh, is that what I was doing wrong? Or is it just too big of a fucking sword? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. My bad, guys. So, when this is without the talisman. Son of a bitch. Come here. $1,300. This is also with a maxed out weapon. So the maxed out Bloodhound's Fang, which I'm pretty sure I did a video about. But this is without the talisman. Oh, 1,300. This is with the talisman. Oh, fuck, my bad. $1,600. That just added 300 damage to my guard counter, which is pretty fucking insane. And yeah, if you're gonna really want this talisman if you are running a shield on your build. I don't use shields. I just dodge. But yeah, you're gonna want that. Look up a guide because I forgot where to get it. And yeah. Now we're gonna move on to the Red Feathers Branch Sword Talisman. This talisman raises attack power when your HP is low. So this is more used for like bonk builds, and nuke builds. Like they'll use seppuku until they're like one tap, and they'll enter the boss arena, fucking nuke the boss, and that's just used for like bonk and nuke builds. But like this talisman, let's just get into the location. This talisman is in Liurnia of the Lakes. You have to fight a death bird for it. It's a really easy boss. It's not even a boss, just an enemy. It will spawn in during the nighttime. Please just, guys, look up a guide on it, because I forgot how to get it. But I'm just going to mention it in my video, so you guys just get the insight. And yeah, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys